Hey, Derek here at Castaway Studios, Studio 3. I am 7 long kilometres away from my studios and at home in the bedroom. There's a bit of rendering later on in this show, so I'll use that to show you the home setup, which I think is very cool right now. But meanwhile, I'll get straight to the point. So what I've discovered on a forum is a way to move a set of markers in Reaper, because my biggest problem is if I want to record, if someone says, can you time my show, then you go, when did he actually start the show? You're producing and someone's talking, they have a chat to the guest and they go, let's go, and they just launch in, right? And then they want you to tell them when it's 20 minutes, when it's 25 minutes, and then when it's 30 minutes or whatever, right? I have one particular show that I'm doing this afternoon, and it's for radio. And with all the intros and outros templated already, we know that the content ideally is 25 minutes and 7 seconds. Right, okay, there's a bit of give and take there in the edit, but 25 minutes and 7 seconds is the dream. So what I'd like to do is be able to start recording, and when the actual content begins, after any false starts or clearing throats or whatever, then I want to be able to slide my preset markers to where it begins, and then it will automatically show me a marker for when there's 10 minutes to go, 5 minutes to go, and the ideal ending point. So let's get straight to it. Okay, so here we are in Reaper, and there's me again. All right, so first thing I want to do is make the markers. Okay, so I'm going to make one called Start, and at position number 0, ID 1, and I'll set the color to green for go. And okay, so there it is. You can see it up there in the corner. So I'm going to make another marker. Right, so I'm going to make that ID number 2, and I'm going to make it 10 minutes to go. Okay, 10 minutes to go, set color. It's not dramatic, so we'll make it kind of that tealy color. So I might have made a boo-boo there, but we'll make it position 2015 and 7. So for this show that I'm doing. Okay, so that's there. And I found over and over that my first marker seems to disappear. So I'll go back and check. So I'll insert another one for 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes to go. And that will be at 20 minutes and 7 seconds. And I'll make that ID number 3. And I'll set the color to something a bit more dramatic, orange, getting close to that deadly redly. All right, so insert one more, and that will be time. So 25:07. So I'll make that end, and it's at the 25:07 mark. All right, set color. That'll be red. Okay, ID number 5. All right, so there's those markers. Let me just drop that first one in again because it's playing up. Start. You'll find out why that doesn't matter that much, but it might help. So there's all your markers, and there's your project. And so the thing is, if you look at that, you either sit here and wait till you absolutely know that you or your talent has started the actual content of the show and press record right at the beginning, or you just hope, or you do this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to select a time selection. I'm going to make it 40 minutes, right? And then I'm going to go render. Okay, this has to be, now I've already got this set up, but set your directory, maybe somewhere where you can save this particular handy utility file. If you've got somewhere where you keep all your little utility extras. File name, SBB, that's the name of the show. So the important thing is it's a WAV file. So if you've got it set to MP3, you won't have the settings you need. So when you change that to WAV, you will see write BWF chunk. That's got to be clicked, right? And another important thing is this selection normally would be saying do not include markers or regions, but you need to make it markers only, right? And then click down here, add rendered items to new track in project. Makes it kind of easy. It's handy to have. What we produce will be a section. It'll be basically a WAV file that can be dropped in, right, with these markings on it. But it's kind of handy if it just throws it straight into the project we're working on. But it also renders it into wherever you ask it to, so that you can use it later. So I'm going to make a generic one after this, so that I can drop that into any project. And when people start talking, I can slide it to exactly the point. And I'll show you in a minute. All right, so you do all that, and then you render. Okay, yeah. So off it goes rendering. And this is the bit that I promised you I will switch. I'm going to switch to another view. Don't get a fright. This is my bird dog. The camera that's taking this shot is a bird dog P200 PTZ camera. So I've obviously got the freedom to move it around using a little remote. So there we go. And there I am. Okay, I haven't set up the color or anything for that. I just literally plugged it straight in. Okay, so what we have here is my trusty Canon M50 HDMI out. It gives you clean HDMI out, but only with manual focus, which is perfectly fine for this scenario. But it's kind of irritating that content creators don't harp on about the fact that you can't use autofocus without the little white window appearing. Anyway, irritating. But that, instead of that HDMI cable heading off to a converter like Elgato converter to send it into USB, which puts a lot of pressure on things like, like I'm using a laptop here, which is it's a lot of pressure on the USB ports if you start using webcams and other things as well. So what it does is it goes into the back here, which is the new Bird Dog. It's not a good angle, but it's the new Bird Dog Flex. This version is known as the backpack version. So it's actually got moldings that clip into your standard sort of battery pack fitting. This is an LED light, which I can probably show you without messing everything up. Yeah, just a little bit there. Just messed it up a little bit. But that's an LED light, but often you could use it with a monitor, which means the thing. And they do have, and I've got no, how can I show you? If I do it quickly, maybe I can get it to work. But they do have this awesome tally light, a halo tally right around the outside. So when it's in the waiting room, maybe I can do this. If I put, yes, see that? So I've put the vision from this camera in my preview mode, and it goes green. So in this camera, I will do it for a split second. Oh, you're not going to see it. There you go. You caught it. It turns red. So it's the tally lights, and the Bird Dog P200 camera does the same thing. So that was a nice distraction. So this is the camera I'm using for this type stuff, and the P200's here just because I love to play, and I certainly do not need two fancy pants cameras in my tiny little bedroom studio, but it's already been handy. All right, so I'm going to bring you back to what we're actually here for, and there you go. That rendering's done. I'm going to click Show in Explorer just to show you. You see that? That is the wave. That is what we'll have stored now in my saved markers folder, right? And once we close that, have a look down the bottom. Now I'm going to bring this up to here so it's easier to see for me in my glasses. Whoops, I made a mistake. It's the track I want to bring up. So can you see that? That track is literally an entire track for that show those marking points. So I can go and remove the markers that I had in there, which will just distract me, and then I start recording the show. As you can see, I can start recording the show. Let's bring it forward to about here. Okay, so I'm recording. Let me just... which microphone am I recording it? Yeah. So I'm recording the show. And let's say I faff around till now. I can slide this. Have a look. I can slide this to the exact time I start. So I'm wibbling on, introducing the guest. And then I say, okay, welcome to our show today, Brian. Sorry, it's James. Sorry. Welcome to our show today, James. And then I know when I'm sitting at the desk or whatever, I can slide that to here. Or when James is talking, if I'm doing my own show, when James is talking, I can slide that along to that point. Or I can press M, drop a marker there, and then just throw that there. And then whatever happens, if I'm doing a one-take show or I've paused it or whatever, I'll know exactly when there's 10 minutes to go. I'll remove that selection as well. When there's 5 minutes to go and the end. So that can be used in any way. I'll make one of these that just I can drop in anyway. So it's nice to be able to just slide it around. You could even do a couple of them. You could do them in sections so that if you've got a point where you like to stop for an ad break or whatever, you can actually physically stop for an ad break and then slide the other one along when need be, rather than have to sit on that stop record button all the time. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. To me, it's a little treat to discover stuff like that. And check in the notes when I find out who put it up onto a forum and where, because it's certainly going to make my life a lot easier starting this afternoon. All right. Thank you very much.